Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
What's up guys, Vibez here, coming at you with a security control deck that I built here I actually won the case tournament and a few locals with it. It is pretty degenerate, but it's always a good time playing security control when you're not the one playing against it. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. Starting off with the eggs, of course, we play 4 Upamon. This is going to be a yellow base security control. The team here, we've been going back and forth with purple base, yellow base, a lot of security control here. We love it. And Upamon, I really like Upamon with Salamon. You could totally play Viximon. It's player preference. I don't think any is incorrect. But I kind of just like that Upa to give my Salamons like that max value to draw a card, recover, do a damage. Feels real nice. So 4 Upas. And now for the only rookies in the deck, of course, it is 4 Salamon. This card is just so broken. Even if the Salamon lives, sometimes it does feel bad because you really do need to recover, but you could probably just ram your Salamons into an opposing Digimon that's suspended if you really need that recover. So Salamon basically is a draw 1 for Digivolving, draw 1 when attacking because of your Upamon, and then it's going to take a damage from your opponent and recover a life. So that's so much value off this one rookie, and that's why we're maxing out. You do get the unfortunate times where Salamons are just in your security, so I do feel your pain there, but 4 has been working out perfect for me. And that's it for the rookies. Now we have no champions in this deck because it is, security control. And for the ultimates, we have the 4 Magna Andromons, like the staple card. Without this card, the deck wouldn't even be playable. So we definitely play 4 of this card. You need to see it either in life early, so that's in your discard pile early, in your hand. You just need to get this guy in rotation as soon as possible so that your Flame hellscythes are live. And you know what? I don't even mind putting my opponent to like 5-7 memory, but it makes them put in this like weird scenario where they're gonna be in the back, right? So they're gonna if they're playing a stack deck, if I put them to 7, they're probably gonna build their full stack right there. They're gonna draw a bunch of cards to build that stack, and then they deck out. So really cool. You don't mind giving them a bunch of memory, recover, very good card. This inheritable actually comes up, so this card is just broken. And in order to make our Flame hellscythes a little more live, we do play that 1 Angelomon. Because what I realized with this deck is sometimes I don't see my angels, and then my Flame hellscythes aren't doing anything. They're just summoning like Salamons or something, and that doesn't always feel the greatest. And this card is just very good. Just for 6 memory, you can just minus security of someone, and this inheritable under an Ophanimon is 2 checks, so you give this deck some type of aggression. So really good. I liked it at 1, but it's not necessary. You can totally cut this. And now to our level 6s, we play 2 Venusmon. You could play more Venusmon. I do play the 1 Sukuyamon, but there's a lot of OTK decks, like a lot of Greymons and Metal Gurus, where this card kind of just will slow that turn down, and then they promote their stack, and then you just body their stack. So really cool. You could totally just play 3 Venus. Venus goes without saying. This card is just a godsend for this deck because you get a whole nother turn of just living, because the turn you summon this, your opponent's not going sideways, so that's another turn that you have to either recover or delete their board. So 2 Venus, Sakuya, it worked out fine for me. You could totally cut this for a 3rd Venus if you do see fit, but this lineup worked well. And just the Sakuya minusing their security so that you guys just always live is kind of cracked, because then you give your deck another kind of win con, because you're not really going to do a lot of damage, but this helps you kind of just get in there. And yeah, for the last level 6, we do play 1 fall down mode to kind of work with that Angelomon, and also just recover on Digivolve. And if it gets deleted, you summon a Salamon. So a lot of value, floats. We like this card, so that's a 1 of, it's fine. And now for our last level 6, that's not a yellow, we do play that 1 Avenge Kid. I was originally playing more copies of this card, but as the format progressed and I kind of found out you don't really need to resolve it all the time to win, you kind of just need to resolve it once. So Avenge Kidmon was there, and he helps you not deck out or just recycle your options. So, and he also gets that pop, which is super important, because sometimes you just need that cheap clear, and he can just summon this guy almost for free, pop a dude, and then use an option card to pop another guy. So Avenge Kidmon, totally cool. Definitely have to play. 1 is fine. And then for the last Digimon, of course, Triple Death X. We are playing a control deck, so we are going to be playing, the most control-y type cards and the most degenerate cards. This card goes without saying. It just does so much for you and for this deck to stay alive, and also it's just a bomb in security. It's just 15k. It's gonna delete something. So this card was just awesome. You could also, if you are in that situation, you can digivolve this on top of your Ophanimon if it comes down to it. But yeah, this card is just awesome. Definitely like 3, since you don't really draw as much, you have to see it in certain matchups that they will go wide. Since you are playing security control, they're gonna know, oh, he doesn't have wide removal, so let me go wide, and then you go good night. So very good, triple Death X, and you do play ways to get it back, so not too bad. And that is it for our Digimon. I believe it is like 15-16 Digimon. Now let's get into our Tamers. We are playing a yellow-purple version, so we do need our purple sources, which is why Death X is also kind of cool, because he has a purple source. But 4 Karis, I bumped this up from my original list. I was playing 3, but then I went to 4 just because of how prevalent Black War Greymon was. You kind of need those purple sources, and obviously OTK decks. You have no real answer to like a red BT1 Greymon just checking for all your life and no option cards are going to activate. So if you stack a bunch of these, you could just pass their turn, and pretty cool. And then, of course, the 4 Mimis, just to make your plays cheaper and punish your opponent. This card is very good. It's cheap to play, so you instantly have your purple source on lock. So sometimes you can play this without passing turn and then play your Chaos Degradation or your Flame Hellscythe, make it cheaper. Your opponent probably forgets, they go to attach the X antibody option card, and you go, cool, my turn. So very nice. Definitely like these cards. Wouldn't cut any of them. Sometimes you do have a bunch of Tamers in your life, but that's just kind of the risk that you take. For the last Tamers, we have 2 Karis, the yellow Kari, the new one that sets your turn to 3, and if you recover 1 on your turn, you gain a memory. So this card helps make your plays cheaper. Same thing, so like your Flame Hellscythes end up becoming super cheap. Your Magna Anjas, you can just hard play them, it doesn't feel bad. Your Ophanimon doesn't pass turn. This card is just very good. I was playing 3, but then I cut 1 to play 1 TK. TK was actually super clutch for me because I could just, you know, info, see my security, see what how I can play the rest of the game. And also this card basically has a hidden text that says look at your security and add Salamon. So that's what he's there for, because Salamon just lives in my security, so this guy fetches him out. And you know, I never really regretted it. There was turns where I did kind of like if it was a Kari, because then I can save much more memory, but you know what, it worked out for me and I wouldn't really change it. And that's it for the Tamers and Digimon. So now into, of course, you know, the option cards is where this deck shines. 4 Chaos Degradation card is just so broken. I mean, it gets around everything, so you definitely have to max it out, and you don't really win your games by doing damage, so you don't mind just shoving a bunch of Digimon in your opponent's security if you do hit this in your life. So this card is just too good. You definitely have to play 4. It's the whole reason this deck is playable, is because you make most use of this card. It's a deck that abuses it the most. So definitely 4 Chaos Degradation. You know that this card is broken. And now for the second most broken card, if maybe even more broken, Flame Hellscythe. This card is just infinite Magnas. You have a bench Kidmon to shove these back into your deck. Flame Hellscythe's really good. Again, with the Mimis, the Karis, you make this super cheap. You -6 something, summon a dude. It helps you actually kind of be aggressive. Like sometimes they'll just hit 2 of these in your life. You just recover 2 and summon 2 angels, and those angels always go sideways, and you could potentially even win by doing damage, which it comes up. So Flame Hellscythe, very good. Saves you so many times. Saves you almost just as much as the Holy Waves, because Holy Waves, the waves be holy, because you have like, there'll be certain plays where if you do have your last check is like a delete card and you delete their stack, they just hit you with another guy and then you just lose. The Holy Wave kind of will just like, they hit me for the last check, oh wait, recover, so now that their last Digimon, it can't go for game. So Holy Waves definitely saves your cheeks. Definitely have to play 4. And I also play 4 Wyverns. The reason is because Greymon lines, they don't have any protection against DP reduction, and same thing for Examon. This kind of just claps Examon and those War Grey decks. So definitely like 4 of this. I don't think I would actually play any less. It just came up for me every time. I did try that new 8-cost option card, but unfortunately I wasn't too good enough to always have it on my 4th or 3rd check, so it never really came up. And my opponent's Digimon are sometimes bigger than 12,000, so I couldn't really delete it. And the other effect of the other card to put a guy in security is really good, so maybe there is, you know, argument to play at least 1 or 2 of it, but for this version at least, it worked out fine with just the 4 Wyverns. Didn't really regret not playing the other card. And then for consistency's sake, Blade of the True. This card is just so good. It gets a little worse late game, of course, but early game, let's say you go first, right? And you go Magna, put them to 7. Then they go. They're going to build a giant stack in the back, but they can't attack you on that turn. And you're going to have 6 life. So then you go Blade of the True, draw 3 cards. Really good. Helps this deck cycle because it has like little to no cycle. So Blade of the True, pretty clutch. Came up for me every time. I think there was a turn, like turn 2, where I opened both of these and I just drew 3 cards, and I was set for the rest of the game. So really cool. And then for the last cards, we have 1 Reinforced because it's at 1 and it's a just super cracked card that you definitely just have to play. It's one of the best advantage and recovery cards there is. If you reveal the top 2, add 1, put the other in security, and you can delay to gain 3 memory, which is really good because this deck, obviously, it struggles with doing 2 things per turn because you're probably just going to heal or you're probably going to destroy something. But you crack this and you can heal and destroy it, probably. So, or double heal or double destroy. So this card's really good. I definitely enjoy it. Would like for it to be more than 1, but you know, Bandai, and it probably did a good thing restricting this to 1. And for the last cards, we have 1 Schwartz, just because we play so many more Tamers in this version. This helps with the going wide, like Commandramons or whatever, or Bloom Lord. Just once this thing pops 2 or more Digimon, it gets so much value. So definitely like the 1 Schwartz. 1 Fly Bullet, kind of troll, but Fly Bullet has its purpose because there's Digimon that sometimes they have too high DP. Like for example, let's say it came up, but there was a Gaiomon that was like 18k, but it had no protection, and if it hit Wyvern's Breath, it would have just lived and checked my life, but Fly Bullet kind of just pops it. And there's other scenarios where Fly Bullet does come in clutch. It is 7 cost, so it is cheaper removal, and you know what, I really like that as a 1-of, don't regret it. And the last card, of course, is the 1 Calling from Darkness to help recycle your Ophanimons and your Death X. Also, sometimes your Salamon just lives and you need it to die, so you just pop it and it comes up. Also, this deck definitely has a lot of room for improvement from when I played it. I think this list is a good core standpoint for the purple yellow based security control, and I'd highly recommend, if you have the cards, to give it a try and see how you perform with it. But other than that, keep topping.